So I thought we'd do another seated class. It gives us some variety. It gives us options. So if for any reason you're standing, like let's say, for example, recently we had lovely Jill who'd broken her ankle and she was just slowly coming back into it, and she was able to do strength work, obviously from a seated position. It just gives us a bit of a mash-up on some of the familiar moves, how we can vary them. And also for any reason, if it isn't appropriate for you to be weight bearing, to be standing, this is a great alternative to keep going with your strength work. Never underestimate the power of a seated class, because they can be a lot more challenging than you may think. Now we're going to start without the weights. We're going to do a little bit of a warm up. I've got my notes here. I've picked up a few new moves, hence I've got my notes just as a reminder. So I want you to start seated tall. Okay, now depending on the depth of your seat, whether you want to sit right to the back of it, mine's quite big, so I'm going to shuffle forward. And I want you to bring your arms out in front of you. And we're just going to start with an open and close onto your heel. Take your arm, let me just put that over there a moment. Whoops, where am I going? Let me start that again. Okay, so just chest opener and just onto your heel. Good. Step forward. Lovely work. Great way to open through the chest, just very gently raise the heart rate. But what I want you to do is just a warm up. It's nice and simple, but see if you can stay really stable through your center so you don't lean forward. So even this, just a simple move like this, you're already starting to consider that connection to your center. Let's go for 8 and 7. Great. 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, back to the center. Now you're going to take both arms to the ceiling and pull down and reach. Pull down and reach. So try and bring your elbows to either side of your knee and lift your knee right up to your forehead and crunch. So a lovely rounded shape through the spine and crunch, and then try and find the ceiling and crunch. Reach and crunch. Reach and crunch. Fantastic. And again. And reach. Let's do 4 more on each side. And get as rounded as you can. And lift that knee as high as you can. Have you got 1, maybe 2 more? And again. Woo, and relax. Roll it out. Okay, now this time we're going for a crisscross. So I want you to take your hands to the back of your head. Now, if you don't feel stable with that, you can have your hands like so. Otherwise, your hands are here. And we're going to reach across the diagonal. And reach. Take your knee right the way across. Take your elbow towards the outside of that lifted knee and twist. So we've got our spine twist with our forward flexion. So you're going to reach forward as you rotate. Option of having your arms across your chest if you feel today that one's better for you. And twist. And twist. Can you just try and get just a tiny bit more rotation? Let's again do 4 more on each side. Lift that knee just a tiny bit higher. 3 more each side. And twist. Well done, everybody. Rotate. Rotate. Let's just do that 1 more time each side. And come back to the center. And again, roll it out. And we're going to finish this little set with alternate one side jumping jacks. So I want you to have your arms like so. And we're just going to step out and in, step out. So this would be our, if we were standing, this one. Okay. So we just step out, in, step out, and in. Open. So you need to lift your foot so that you don't drag your leg across the front of the chair. Open. Okay, and again, lift and lift. Great work. Just thinking about definitely not a chair on wheels, because this one could get very interesting as you go spinning across the kitchen floor. So I hope you're nice and stable. And if you have any doubts about the floor surface, do stand the chair on your mat so it's safe. Let's do a couple more on each side. Great work, everybody. And again, and back to the center. Super. Now, we're going to stand up and sit down. Make sure, I know this sounds a very obvious thing to say, but as I said, if you need to put the chair on a mat, there's no risk of slippage. We are doing a true squat, and this is how you're going to get up out of your chair every time you stand and sit for the rest of your life. Okay, you're just going to stand up and now sit down. Perfect. And stand up. Excellent. And sit down. And stand up. Now, how about you sit a little further back this time and sit down and stand up. Okay, now keep it going. How about we have a tiny pause? So stand up. Now let's come down and just have a little pause and then take a seat. Okay, stand up. Remember to get into that center. Little pause and then take a seat. Perfect. So we want to make sure that we don't use momentum. Okay? Now, how about, if it suits you, take 1 foot off the floor. Now, that's going to obviously double the load. If you feel there's any risk there, any doubt, then don't do it. Otherwise, have a go. Stand up. Whoa, don't do what I just did. That was a bit wobbly. And take a seat. Now, you can find out where it is. Use your hands and lower back down. Push up into that foot and stand. And take a seat. Let's do one more on this side. Simply doing our one leg squat and take a seat. Let's swap it over. Now you could choose to hold a weight. I don't feel today that we need to do that because we've got lots of weighted work coming up. It wasn't a very good demonstration on my part, but you've got that option if you wanted to hold a weight into the chest or weights either side of you as an option to increase your load. Good, good, good. And lower. Let's do that one again. Great work. And lower. We're going to do 3 last ones. Both feet on the floor. Slowly stand up. And slowly sit down. Please never push yourself up out of your chair unless you're rehabbing an injury and you've got no choice. Use the muscles you were given. Let's do that one more time. Perfect. And take a seat. So functional, because we all stand up and sit down every time. And every time we sit on the loose seat, I want you to think about standing up from a squat. And you've got the option of just getting into the habit of always lifting 1 foot. But again, do make sure you feel safe with that and that your knees are going to allow it. Option for the weights here. We're going to go into a little toe tap. So if you want to increase the load, pick up a weight, hold it into your chest. Now you're going to shuffle your bottom forward and then lean back, but I don't want you supported. And I know one of you is on a backless stool, so please let common sense prevail here. So you've got to lean back, but don't support yourself. And we're just going to go into our toe taps. So just lift and lower. So you know this one if you were lying on your back, lifting one leg and then the other. Exactly the same thing, but we're in a V-sit. So you're going to feel a lot of work, hopefully in your center. If you feel all the work going into the front of the hip, could I ask you to get those abdominals working quite a bit harder? Squeeze. So what you could do, as a way to sort of become familiar with it, what you could do is put your hands here and get into the habit of really pulling away from your hands. Okay, you've got the option of holding the weight, or you've got your hands here as a reminder of just what area you're trying to target. Let's just have another 20 seconds here or so. So hopefully with that V-sit, because you're leaning back, my goodness me, you can feel those abdominals working. We've got about 10 seconds. I definitely can on this one. How heavy your weight is totally up to you. You could afford to go a little bit heavier if you wish, and you could work empty-handed. Let's make that one the last one and come back up. Now, with the best will in the world, does often go into the hip flexors. So shuffle over to one side, take that outside leg, drop your knee down, and then just push your hips forward and feel that stretch into the front of the hip there. Just lengthen up through the front of the pelvis and give the hip flexors a little stretch. And while you're doing that, you stay there a moment. Let me just remind you, It's the one where we're lying on our back, because, lift and lower. If we don't engage here, we put too much load into the hip flexors. So do fewer and really work those abs. Okay, let's go on to the opposite side. So if you feel it's always going to your hip flexors, don't do as many, but do 2, 3, 4 on each side. Then stop, have a rest. Then come back into it. So you get into the habit, you train these muscles to become dominant rather than the front of the pelvis into what's called the psoas. Okay. And come back out of it. Super. Let's go into some upper body strength. Now we're going to be going into a chest press. So pick up weights that you feel safe to be able to open and close like so. Okay. Weights in front of you. And we're going to open out and bring them back in. So this is exactly what you'd see in the gym. The chest press, you'd have your arms either side of a plate on each side, and you'd squeeze those plates in together, and that's what we're doing here. And I want you to think about opening through your chest and sliding your shoulder blades together, and then closing back in and really squeezing the area just above your bra strap in front of your armpit. See if you can squeeze that little bit there, just in front of the armpit there. Let's do 4. Only guiding you here. Stop if you need to. 3, 2. Lovely work. And 1. And relax. Perfect. And roll it out. So you'll see the machines in the gym when you've got your hands like so, pressing in and out. So we can exactly recreate that. Now, what is important, of course, you know this, is sitting tall. If the chair is quite cushioned, you could put your block underneath you to give you a stable base. So sit tall. We've always got this alignment. Watch you don't start to slump. Keep that length in the spine, mimicking as you would a standing pose. Now, we're going to go into a bicep curl, okay, into a hammer curl. Hands and palms facing forward, and we're going to alternate. We're going to use both arms. We're going to alternate the move. Let me show you. We're going to curl up and down. We then rotate palms in and curl up and down. Rotate palms forward, curl up and down. Rotate palms in and curl up and down. Rotate forward and keep that strong connection. And palms in. Feet are flat on the floor. Right angle bend in the knees. And sit tall. Well done. Now, if you need to alternate one side and the other, that's absolutely fine. If you feel that you need to have one side, have a little bit of rest and one here, alternate shape, and then go to the opposite side. Make sure that you're not rocking forward and backward. We've got about another 10 seconds here. Super work. I reckon we can just get a couple more. Sit tall, equal weight under those sit bones. And make this one the last one. And bring it back down. Excellent work. And roll out your shoulders. Super. Okay, so we're going to leave the upper body for a moment. We're going to come back to that. Going to bring some focus into the lower body again. Pop your weights down. You don't need your weights for a moment. And we're just going to have some resistance. Now, again, this is the same. If you imagine lying on your back with your legs in tabletop, pressing the front of the thigh, that's exactly what we're going to do here. What I want you to start with is that length through the spine. Watch you're not leaning back. You've got equal weight under your sit bones. You're going to put both hands onto the front of one thigh. And as you lift your thigh, press into your hands and then lower back down, and feel how it gets into the lowest part of the abdominal wall here. So press, and this one would be exactly the same as here, pushing like so. That's what we're doing. But we've got the added work of staying in an upright position. So as we lift that leg, we don't lean back. So push into a resisting hand. Stay on the same leg. Okay, and again, let's do 3 or 4 more on this side. Try not to make it all about the front of the hip. Press into your thigh and squeeze that tummy. If it helps you, one hand on your thigh, one hand on your tummy as a reminder to pull in. Let's just do a couple more. You don't need to lift your leg high, but you do need to have a really good strong press there. And again, super. Ooh, let's go on to side two. Okay, so just make sure, have a resit, make sure that you're sitting square on both sit bones, sitting tall, hands onto the opposite side. Are you ready? Let's go. Press into your hands and relax. Maybe don't take your foot all the way to the floor, but feel that strength there. And again. This will help with your squat, with your getting up out of a chair as well. We are, excuse me, building strength in the quadriceps, quad muscles, four muscles in the front of the thigh. But obviously, of course, thinking about core strength, because unlike when we're lying on the floor as much, here we've got to think about our control so that as we meet the resistance, it's not tipping us back. Let's have another 10 seconds. So you feel this belt around your middle. That's what's working as your leg lifts into a resisting hand. Let's just do two more, shall we? Press. And again, if it's really getting into the front of the hip, have a breather. If it's really getting into the front of the hip, that tells us we need to have a little bit more focus on connecting to our center, train those muscles to become dominant. It's going to get into the hip because guess what? They're called a hip flexor. And what are you doing here? You're flexing the hip. So those muscles have got to work. That's exactly what they were put there for. That's their job. However, we're using the abdominals to balance it out. But you can see, can't you, how you're working here and again around the middle of your back, lower back area to hold you upright so you don't lean back. How are we doing? Let's have a look. Okay, we're going to go to a W curl. So I want you to grab your weights again, please. And we're going to our biceps once more. But this time, we've got the arms turned away from us. So we're making the shape of a W. Now, you're very welcome to alternate, okay? Or take both arms at the same time. All the way up, all the way down. And what we're doing, because we've changed the shape that we're lifting, we've rotated our humerus bone, our upper arm bone, in the socket of the shoulder, which means that we hit the biceps from a different angle. So it just challenges the muscle slightly differently from when we had our arms in their natural parallel shape. So we're making that shape of a W as we take our arms out and back away. Well done. And curl. Biceps going to be getting a little bit tired now because they've done quite a bit of work. Who's got that abdominal connection? Don't forget that. Make sure that you're still sitting up tall. You're balancing that book on the crown of your head. You're not nodding your chin. Could you grow a tiny bit taller? We've got 10 seconds here. Squeeze as you lift your arms. Squeeze those abs. Pull that belt just a little bit tighter. And that's your powerhouse. That's your engine room. That's giving you that last little bit of support. Last 3 seconds. And I reckon we can squeeze out one more rep here. Woo, they got heavy. And pop it down. Okay, we're going to stretch our biceps. So take your arms out wide and pull your hands back as far away as you can. And then point your fingers back. And reach, 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 reach. Well done. Super work. Okay. All right, well, let's go back to some lower body work. Just looking at my notes here so that I can make sure I don't miss anything. What a shame that would be. All right, so we're going to go into a little tabletop lift with a kickback. Okay, now, again, option to bring a weight in. I'll mix it up or not. You're going to again feel it gets into here. So really work through your center. So for this one, you might want to shuffle a little bit forward. This chair's useless, actually. It's definitely, I need a flatter base, but never mind. So I'm fidgeting a bit. Sorry about that. I want you just to lift one leg and just hinge at your knee. 8 to 10 times. Work from your center. If you want to hold a weight to your chest, go ahead and just hinge. So you're working through the front of the thigh. Quads have to work really hard here. Abs are in the background supporting. 8 to 10 times. If you don't believe me, put your hand here and just feel how much work is going on. So sort of seated one leg squat in a way without quite so much load. And then recover. So don't forget you've got the option of having the weight if you choose. Second side. So it's just a kick out. You don't need to fully extend. You have that option. We're going to do this one again in a moment. Okay, so you can just let your legs swing. When we take the foot further away, my gosh, we do wake the quads up. So at the moment, you don't need to go fully straight. We've got about 10 seconds here. Sit tall, watch that you're not starting to forget your upper body. Keep that length. Watch you don't arch, okay? Rib pull down and recover. Super. Okay. Now you may just want to stand up, have a little shimmy, perhaps, and then we're going to come back into that one. We're going to repeat that one because our quads are strong. We do lots of squatting type work. We did our seated work, didn't we? We did our pressing onto the thigh to wake up the abs. Now this time, again, the weight is optional. This time, slow it down. We're going to go for 5 to 8 repetitions, so not as many. Lift, extend, bend in and lower. It's quite spicy. You could, if you wish, put a big cushion behind you. Watch you don't lean back. If you can sit right back and have your back on the chair back, fine. For me, it's a bit deep. Okay, but you could, or obviously, you know, adapt one way or another. Maybe that would work. Something like that, just to make sure that you're not then leaning back, because that's key. Okay, so think about your posture, having that weight into your chest as an option. Okay, it's only a suggestion. You choose what feels right for you. Okay, now sit tall, work from that center, lift one leg, foot flex, and kick out. And bend in without your knee lowering. And kick out, and it's slow. And bend in, and oh my goodness me, do you feel the front of the thigh working? Squeeze those abs. Kick out. 2, maybe 3 more. Put your foot down if you need to. That's absolutely fine. It's not a competition. Don't speed it up. Okay, don't speed it up. Keep it slow. And kick out. And bring your foot back down straight away to side 2. But just check in here. Keep that length in the spine. If there's anything going on in your lower back, it means your posture has slipped. That's 100% what's going on there. So just notice your shape here. Okay? Second leg, kick out, foot flexed, and a return. And how you could progress this one, this is a recorded class, so how you could progress this one is to hold and then come back in. Well done. Okay, great. Either which way, keep it slow. Heel is pushing out, so you're flexed through your foot. Keep your knee lifted. Try not to let your knee lower. What you could do as an alternative is have a band or hold your hands here. So let me go back to this leg to make it clearer to see. You could hold your hands here. We've got about 2 more to do. All right, as an alternative, if you need a bit of support, that's fine. It's not cheating. It's just offering support. Let's relax. Okay. If you use actually don't use a band, actually use a towel. Don't have it stretchy. So that's an option. If you do use your hands, you're more inclined to lean back. So just be mindful of that, or a towel. But to start with, if maybe the fronts of the thighs are just not doing quite what they should, 100% fine. Okay, grab your towel, use your hands. Here you go. Support, and then kick out and back. Now I know I've got 2 new knees to consider, so that's definitely an option for you as you're rehabbing and starting to build up more strength there. Okay, well done everyone. Now let's go back to some upper body work. I am going to suggest we go a little bit lighter. Okay, we're going for a shoulder press. We're going to have the hands like so. Oh, that works. That's much better. Why didn't I think of that before? That works quite well. Okay, hands and palms facing in. Okay, the weight's looking at you. And you're going to push up and pull down. Great. And push up and pull down. Breathe out, push away. Breathe in to pull. Both feet flat on the floor. And as always, feel that strap, that belt, that corset. Imagine that I've put the resistance band around the front of your rib cage, and I'm standing behind you. And every time you push your arms to the ceiling, I'm very slightly pulling your ribs backwards. Let's go for 3 more here. Shoulders stay down, length through the spine. And again. Okay, and bring it back down. So a lot of shoulder focus there. Just roll it out. Well done. And we're going from that one straight into our Arnold press. But just put the weights down and roll it out. In fact, while we're here, why don't we do our circles? Because you know what, you're doing those every day. I know you are. I know you are. They're so important. Arms are straight. Please be careful of the back of the chair. Don't hit your arms. Bring your arms forward. Don't let them bend. And reach as far back as you can and around. And bring them forward. Anybody who did my mobility, my 15-minute mobility, the first one that's in the library, we do the shoulder stretch when you're seated with your arms behind you. This is a lovely way to build up to it. Let's just do 2 more here. Remember, your spine stays true. It's all from the shoulder. Keep your arms straight. And just 1 more here. Fantastic. Roll it out. Nice work. So we're going into our Arnolds. Our hands are like so, and we're bringing one arm out, up, over, and then back an Arnold press. Okay, so we're bringing some rotation into our shoulder press. So I'm just going to turn slightly around, I think. No, I'm not. That's ridiculous because the chair's in the way. I'm going to stay facing you. Change my mind. Okay, so up and reach over and bring it back down. Opposite side. Now this time, can we take both? If that doesn't work for you, then that's fine. And up and away. I want you to really feel those waist muscles. Start with the opposite arm. Lift up and around. Soft through the elbow. Lift up, so biceps focus, shoulder focus, but also you really feel the abdominals working. And lift, stay strong through your center. And lower. Can we go single, single, double again? And lift. Lovely work, everyone. And lower. Feet flat on the floor. Sitting up tall. Equal weight under those sit bones. And down. Are you ready for doubles? We've got 2 more rounds to go. If you feel that's too much for you, you're very welcome to skip one. You're very welcome to stay with alternate sides rather than doing both together. So I've gone lighter with my weights here. You may have stayed with heavier weights. So, again, we need to think about how to adapt. Okay, last round coming up. Up and over 1. Great work. Up and over 2. Are you ready for both together? Let's go. Reach away and bring it back down. Fantastic. Well done. We're going to use these same weights in a moment for presenting, but before we go into that, we'll just change our focus. So we're going to go into a side reach, oblique crunch. So for this one, you could afford to go a little heavier. All right. All right, good. So roll out those shoulders. Let's have a moment to recover. Powering on through, aren't we? Keeping an eye on the time because I've got any number of exercises here. And what I always do is I scribble it down in my normal handwriting, and now I'm squinting thinking, well, I can't actually read a lot of that without my glasses on, but I've sort of got the gist of it. Okay, now this weight is going to try and pull you over. So make sure that you're grounded on this side. Option to have your arm down by your side. To add a bit of challenge, come into a salute, not behind you, but in front. Okay, that is going to encourage you to want to twist. So that's where you need more support. All right, very welcome to leave your arm down here. Either which way, this sit bone is glued to the floor, glued to the chair. So reach over and come back up. Okay, and over. So let's think about the opposition that's going on here. As my weight pulls me over to the side, my opposite sit bone presses into the chair. A clue is to keep half an eye on your knees and keep them still. You could also think about the opposite foot. a little bit more weight into the opposite foot as you crunch up and over. Don't match my pace. Work at the pace that feels right for you. Okay? And again, obviously you're not rushing it, but you don't need to match my pace. Well done. Can we do 4 more? And again, that's just a guide. Please put the weight down if you feel that's a few more than is best for you today. Squeeze into your waist as you reach over. Let's just do 1 more here. And because we're working one side at a time, we can swap it straight over. So you could afford to go heavier because your arm is narrow. You could afford to go heavier. But if you feel that you're unstable and you're rocking, then just work with a smaller weight. Work without the weight if that's better for you today. That's all right. And off we go. Over to the side. So remember, you can have your arm down by your side and the side that you're reaching away from, there's your anchorage. Okay, and I want you to feel how those waist muscles are working to give you support and give you stability. Now it's a side reach, no rotation. And I want you to press into the foot that you're reaching away from. Press into the sit bone that you're reaching away from. Well done. Relax through your neck, no tension there. 3 or 4 more here. Squeeze into your waist as you reach over. Well done. Let's just do 1 more here. Okay, excellent. And come back. Oh, put that weight down. Take 1 arm up and pull up and over and enjoy that stretch out through your waist there. Well done. And up and away. Oh gosh, we haven't done our triceps. Goodness me, I'm sure you're all thinking, Juliet, we haven't done our triceps. Well, don't you worry, I'm on it now. So we've got a presenting, we've got triceps, we've got the marching. Okay, triceps, smaller muscle, typically not as strong. So what you were using for your biceps might be too heavy. Just have a look, see. So you're going to shuffle forward and bring your weight forward. Your arms start here. We're going single, single, double again. You're going to push 1 arm straight back. Bring it forward. Needless to say, the opposite arm straight back. Bring it forward and then both arms. Okay? So chest is forward. Bring your chest towards your thighs. Feet are flat. Single, single, double. And again, of course, if the doubles doesn't feel right for you, stay with your alternates. Arms stay narrow and lift. Keep your arms straight. Now, this is one where even though you're not aware of it, your elbows are going to do their very best to bend. So I want you to think about lifting from your shoulder, not from your hands. And when you take your arm behind you, just the tiniest pause and see if you can just stretch your elbow a little longer. And there is that tricep connection. Okay, make sure you're not putting any tension into your neck. So every now and then, maybe turn your head left and right a couple of times. Alternates is an option, or single, single, double, but don't lift doubles if you don't feel that's right for you. Don't forget that tiny little pause to really get the backs of the arms. Belt tight around your center. Let's just do 2 more rounds here. Well done. Breathe. Press down into both feet. They're there to really ground you. 1 more round. I've lost count. 1 more round. Have I already said that? And you're thinking, hang on, we've done that last round. Okay, put your weights down and I'll finish mine. Last one here. And relax. Super. Super, super, super. So roll out those shoulders. Okay, we've got another upper body exercise. So probably staying with that weight. We're going to go into what's called presenting when you push away. So when my arm is out here, there's a huge amount of load. There's very little to support it. If the weight is too heavy, my shoulder joint will get stressed. Better that you start maybe a little lighter, and when you think, that's too easy, then perhaps you could go heavier. But when your arm comes out here, I don't want it to distort the shoulder joint, the shoulder girdle. So you're reaching your arm out into a diagonal. You've got bicep connection, tricep connection, pectoral connection, deltoid, trapezius. So I want you to have the muscular support and not fighting against the joint. That's so important. All right. So, if in doubt, go a little bit lighter. So we're going to start with a bend in the elbows. Now, again, feel that belt. Oh my gosh, look at the time. Feel that belt around your center. Having far too much fun. Strong through your center. And let's go. So push away and pull in. Now, again, you've got the option of a double one coming up, stay singles if that's better for you. Otherwise, we present. But do you feel how much work you're putting into your center? I can really feel when my arm goes out long, how much I'm squeezing my abdominals to support me, to hold me upright. Doubles is an option. You can stay with alternates. That's completely fine. And reach. So it's off to the diagonal line. And again, don't forget, this is your Christmas party. This is you're serving the buffet. Yeah, canapes, anybody? No? Vol au vent over there? Not at all? No? Okay. Sausage, anybody? No? No. Pineapple chunks. Here we go. You see, it's your canapes. There you are. And you don't mind how heavy the tray is. Just as long as you hurry up, don't dilly-dally, take what you want. I need to bring the tray back in. And then off we go. So it's a diagonal press. Can we do 2 more rounds? So we push away for 1, push away for 2, and then a double out to the diagonal. 1 more round here. Well done. Sit tall. Still getting into those upper back muscles. Middle back muscles to stabilize. So it's a fantastic core challenge as well, this one. And push away. I don't serve vol au vents and pineapple chunks, by the way. I was just trying to be creative and I was floundering. Okay, put the weights down. God, I think I'd walked out of the 1970s. Roll Black Forest Gatto. Okay, roll up my shoulders. So we've got 1 more move to do. We are going to do marching. We know this one, the farmer's march, or the heavy carry. We know this one is a standing move. We walk up and down or we march on the spot. Seated, we've got the weight here. Seated, when we lift, we are going to be far more inclined to lean back. So what I'm going to suggest is you hold your weight here and you bring your other hand here. And I want you to constantly think about pulling away from here as you lift, because it's all too easy to lean back. Now for this one, you could go heavier, but again, that's just a suggestion. Big, strong shoulder muscles, so you can afford to go a little bit heavier, but you adapt. Now, this is only a suggestion again, but I think it works. Shuffle forward a little bit, actually. Are you ready? So, lift, lift. Again, squeeze your tummy away from your hand. Otherwise, the front of the hip, the psoas are going to do so much work, and the tummy muscles, the abdominal muscles just get to switch off, and we don't want that. If you feel anything going on in your lower back, there's a chance you're leaning back. Having said that, the back muscles are connected to the abdominal muscles, so they do work. They're stabilizing us. They're working to stop us losing balance, to stop us leaning back. Let's do 6. March. 5. Stay tall. Balance that book on your head. 4. 3. Keep that arm long. 2. And 1. And bring it back down. Last move coming up, and then we've finished. Let's go straight into it. Come on, give that tummy a good squeeze. Pull that belly in. Are you ready? Let's go. Arms stay straight. Long through your spine. Imagine your arm as a continuation of your spine. Think of your posture. Balance that book on your head. Eye line straight forward. Abdominals pulled in and down. Make it strong through your center. Fantastic. Let's go. 6. 5. Well done. 4. Squeeze through that center. 3. 2. 1. Oh, and bring it down. Lovely work, everybody. Well done. So what I want you to do, please, make sure the weights are safely out of the way. Walk your feet a little further forward. Hands onto your thighs and just slide down into what would be your roll up or your roll down. Reach forward. Great. Just enjoy that stretch to the back of the body. Now roll slowly back up. And once you become upright, carry on and bring both arms to the ceiling and stretch. Pull your arms back, open through your chest. Bring your arms back down and slide forward and down towards your feet. And can you go a tiny bit further? Maybe. And slide back up. And lift up and bring your arms back and open again. Slide your shoulder blades in towards each other. Let's just do that one more time. We're going to overrun just by a couple of minutes if anyone's keeping an eye on the time. Sorry about that. I was just having too much fun. All the way back up. And again, open through the chest. Super work. Okay, I'd like you please one arm across your chest. Just take hold of that upper arm and just gently pull your arm across you. Now watch you don't collapse here. Keep the structure in place. Think about the rest of the structure. Sit tall. Pull your shoulders down and just gently encourage your arm to lengthen. Relax. And then to the other side. Well done. Super work, everyone. And relax. We're going to come up to standing. We've done quite a lot of shoulder release and we're going to do some stretching work. Now, not everybody wants to hold their foot. So again, you have the option of a towel or a band. Loop it around your ankle. Bring your foot up like so. And then a little bit of a bend into your standing leg. Tuck your hips forward, tuck your tailbone in underneath you and feel that stretch into the front of the thigh and just hold it. You know you've got lots of stretch classes to choose from in the library. So if you're feeling a bit tight and stiff, hop into the library. You don't need to do an hour. I don't think I've got any hours actually. You've got plenty of short ones. Okay, gently does it. Relax that leg back down. And then needless to say, if you're happy to take hold of your foot, that's your alternative. Golly, I can feel my quads have worked. Can really feel that. Crikey. It's funny how people react when you see you're doing a chair class. There's a bit of a sneer and a bit of, is that all you're doing? And I sort of want to say, you come along. You just come and see what it's all about. Now, last move. Okay. In fact, I'm going to turn it around just for the benefit of those of you who haven't got the back of the chair. Hands onto the chair. Please make sure it's stable. Please make sure you feel safe. Walk your feet away and then just let your head hang and just feel that stretch through the back of the body. Backs of the legs across the back of the shoulders. So of course you could have your hands higher up. If this one doesn't suit you, you could have your hands on the back of a sofa on the kitchen worktop. But with your hands lower, do you see how much more you get into the shoulders here, the back of the shoulders? We've worked through the front. Now gently does it step forward. Roll yourself back up, stand tall. Just look over one shoulder. Sorry for overrunning a couple of minutes. Back center. Look over the other shoulder. I definitely feel worked out. I really hope that you do. Well done. Any questions on that or any of the classes, you're very, very welcome to get in touch. Let me know how you get on. I hope you enjoyed it. Well done. Great work. Stop. You. Stop.